vlog. So this is the last and final day here in Dubai for my staycation, a month-long staycation, and I've packed everything down there. And this is the living room, by the way. And I've packed everything down there in my room, and I'm just heading downstairs to Starbucks to have a coffee to start my day. And slightly emotional because this was my first staycation ever. I mean, this is the first planned staycation which I've ever had, especially for so long. So in this final vlog, while I'll be showing you my entire trip to home again, I have my flight from the airport at 3 p.m. So I'll be explaining to you about everything which an MBA needs to know if he or she is planning to shift to this beautiful place of Dubai. So everything which I've learned in the last 1 month, I'm going to share with you about how much would it cost and about some other things. Primarily, how much would it cost you? So all of that is in this vlog. So I'm just stepping out of the house, and the first thing which I'd like to inform you is obviously the accommodation and everything. So the assumption which I am making in this video right now is that you are an MBA guy or somebody who's working, and you're most likely coming here for an internship or for your first or full-time job over here, and you'd like to know about that, what is it to find an accommodation here and how much would it be. Now, my first and very simple foremost advice is that find an accommodation closest to your office space. Now, the place where I live is called DIFC. It's the financial center, and I was staying with a friend of mine, obviously, and his office was somewhere around only. It was in fact walking from here. So why it is important to stay around this place is because you'll save a lot on a travel, obviously. So wherever your office is, you can stay. Now, if suppose you're coming here for a staycation wherein you're not this thing that okay, that I have to stay around my place, then one of my advices for you to stay is either to stay at this place where I was, which was the DIFC, or go further down the south and live somewhere near JLT or Marina. So JLT, it stands for Jumeirah Lake Towers. It's a good area, and the reason why I'm advising you these two places, which is either the DIFC or the Marina, is because these are the comparatively newer places here, and you'll find a lot of good brand new infrastructure over here. Also, you have great places to hang out with. So for example, right in front of my house, or basically on the right side of it, I had the Burj Khalifa out there. Okay, so I am again going upstairs to the house. I forgot the access card over there. Now the thing is that when it's about the stay, usually the stay here is for a long-term stay. So usually your rent lease is going to be for an year. However, if you're coming here for an internship or a staycation, you can find good stays for monthly as well. And I'll be speaking to you that how do you find those really soon. So my last walk out of the building, this was lovely. That is the Burj Khalifa right there. It's very close by. And this is the station of financial center. So always lovely to be walking around here. Is to go there that way to have food with my friend at his office. Lovely place. This is the station of financial center, and my house was right next to it, and here's the Starbucks which I'm heading to. You would have seen me usually have my breakfast over here, my coffee and everything over here. So I was talking to you about the accommodation and how much to spend and where will you be able to find it. So when my friend was scouting for this house, very frankly, okay, so first of all, I'll tell how much is he spending on this house. Now, for this house, for the entire year, he is spending 40,000 AED, which if I were to say it in terms of the entire year, in terms of the INR, it would be around 8.4 lakhs. And if I were to say it in terms of the month, it will be around 70,000 a month, which is a good price. For a house at a good place, either in the DIFC or in the Marina area. And the charges for you will be the same if you were to go In terms of the monthly one, it will be slightly more expensive, maybe. However, also if I were to compare the two, that whether you should be staying in the DIFC or in Marina area, I think the Marina is slightly more economical for you. And then obviously, apart from these two areas, you have a lot of other areas where you can find a lot more cheaper options. So these two are like the ultimate areas, and hence I'm telling you the highest which you will be like spending. It's gonna be around 70 to 80 grands a month. Whereas if you were to take a house, say on a sharing basis, then it will be almost half as that as well. Half or even 1/3 of that, say around 30 or 40,000. So that is the broad idea. That is what you need to know, that how much you will be spending in terms of INR, in terms of AED on your accommodation. So final goodbyes to this place, the 21st Century Tower, and here is the taxi. Hi guys, so now at the airport, heading for the VAT refund. Lots of things which are purchased on which the government would have charged a VAT. You can claim the refund on that here at the airport. So just heading to that counter now. So guys, finally done with the security, and now I'm at the airport. Inside the airport, I've done with the VAT refund as well. There are basically 2 or 3 sites which I would advise you. One is obviously the Airbnb, the other one is Dubizzle, and then there is another one called Bayut or something like that. These three are primarily the sites. There is another one which is called propertyfinder.ae. So from these 4 sites, you'll be able to find all of these kind of stays, and that's about it. So that was about the accommodation. Now the second thing which I will be speaking to you about is the food and the travel and all of those things. So let's first go to the airport and check out more of it. Hi guys, so we're back in New Delhi airport at the T3, and really excited to be back. We'll get some stability in my work, which was a miss while I was there. But yeah, so the second thing which I wanted to speak to you about staying there is that how much would you spend on food? Now I'll give you a very simplistic answer to this, because each day we've had food outside, or we've ordered in or something of that sort. You can safely assume that on an average per day, I think at max you will spend not more than 100 AED per day on food. This includes all the 3 meals of the day. Yes, what I'm excluding here is that, say, suppose if you were to plan to go to a Starbucks or somewhere else, and if you're planning to have a frappe over there, then yes, that is expensive. But if it's going to be good normal food from a good restaurant, then each day you will on an average be spending around 100. On some days it could be slightly on the higher side of 100, on some days it could be slightly lower, which means that on an average, that is 100 AED is equal to 2000 INR. Now, a few things. How can you save on this now? One thing is that if you're staying here for a longer duration, you should ideally cook food, and you'll save a lot of money. You'll save a lot of on that, which I had not tried. So hence I will not be able to speak on that. And the second thing is, Further, what kind of places would you order in? That is also important. So for example, if you go towards the north of Dubai, which is for example the Bar Dubai or Barjuman or the Dera side of Dubai, then you'll find a lot of Indian and Pakistani options over there, which are fairly economical and have great food options. So hence, on that, you will be saving a lot on the food. So out of the airport, taking a cab, and have to get some work done very urgently when I'm home. Some client work done. So yeah. Hi guys, back to my home studio here in New Delhi, and back from the Dubai trip. It's all done with. So finally, you will be seeing a lot of more videos from here like you used to, until and unless obviously I go to somewhere else. Now, I would just like to complete a few things which I was saying about that how you can financially plan a workation of this kind to Dubai. Now, the third thing and the last thing, which is a very, which is a very important thing, is your intercity or your intra-city travel. That when you'll be staying there, you will obviously be traveling around to a lot of places. It could be to a mall, it could be to a cafe. How will you handle that? How much will that be for? Now in Dubai, whenever you take a cab, I'll talk about the cabs, and then I'll talk about the metro train. Whenever you take a cab, now if you were to take a cab from the street, then the starting meter for that, it starts off at 5 AED, and then as per how much distance you travel and how much time you spend, the fare would increase. I think usually it is at around some 1.83 AED per kilometer, but it would start at 5 AED. So the 5 AED is the least which you have to pay anyhow. Now, if you order the same cab through an app like Careem, which is like the Uber and the Ola of the UAE, then the same fare would start off at 12 AED. So the idea is, if you have to save money, just go out on the street and just wait for a few minutes, and surely you will be able to find the same cab and you will be able to save some 6 AED. So that is how much it will cost you. So you can expect that at max, even if you were to go from one end to another end of Dubai, you would be spending at max 100 AED, but usually that is not how much you will be spending. You will be spending around 15 to 25 AED from the usual distances wherever you will go. Now, apart from that, if I were to speak to you about how much you would spend in the train, if suppose instead of the cab you were to go by the metro train, then obviously it will be far more cheaper for you. Inside the metro, you have two kinds of coaches. So the first coach of any metro train in Dubai is called the gold class, whereas all the other are called the silver class. Now the only difference is that in the gold class, obviously the pricing is slightly expensive, and the seating is more comfortable. There are fewer seats, and hence you would find that very few people would be there in the gold class, whereas in the silver class, what you will observe is that there will be a lot of crowd, and hence if you are somebody who's interested to sit and not have a lot of crowd around you, then gold class is something which you should go for. I think the price is somewhat double in the gold class than what it is in the silver class. So now finally, if I were to sum up this entire thing, allow me to help you understand that on an average how much will you be spending each day. So from that you can find out that okay, if you were to have a trip for a day or 2 days or 5 days or a week or a month, how much will you spend? So the three major things which you will be spending obviously is the accommodation, the food, and the travel. I am not including your flight from here to Dubai. Also, I'm not including the visa in it, since the prices of these you can anyways find out online. Now, as I have explained to you regarding the accommodation, on an average, this is what I explained to you. If you were to take a long-term stay, then thanks to the fact that it has been booked for, say, for example, for a month or so, your price per day on an average for that stay is going to be at around 150 AED. So if you would remember, I had shared with you a price of how much would you spend on the accommodation at the starting of the video. If you see that as a per day price, it will be around 150 AED. Obviously, if you are there for a shorter stay, if you were to take a hotel for a shorter stay, it could also go up to as high as 250 AED per day. But I will assume that if you're going there for a staycation, and I went there for a staycation for about a month, hence I spent around 150 AED per day on each day on the stay. Now from there, the food, I have already explained you that on the food end, you would be spending at around 100 AED each day. You need to be able to identify good places from where you can find good and economical food, and you will be able to find a lot of these places in the Burjuman side, and hence 100 AED is the per day spend which I am assuming for the food. And for the travel within the city, even if I assume that you were to use only the cabs, I would say that from anywhere to anywhere and back, you would not spend more than 50 AED per day. Not more than that. I don't think you will be spending more than that. So if you effectively see, if I were to speak about the accommodation, the food, and the travel, then it is 150 plus 100 plus 50, which is about 300 AED. So effectively, your per day expenses to live in Dubai on a workation will be around 300 AED. It can go as high as 400 AED as well. However, if you assume 300 or 400 or some 50 to be average, then you can safely find out that, okay, if you were to stay there for a week, how much you'll have to spend, or if you were to stay there for a month, how much will you be spending. Obviously, again, I have not included the expenses which I had to purchase a laptop or a camera or a microphone, because that was entirely up to me, and it might be that you might not be interested to purchase them. So guys, the Dubai vlog comes to an end. These were 15 vlogs which came to you. I'm sure that you enjoyed my entire trip, and even through this trip, you learned a lot of things about what you can do, what you should do in your MBA. If you enjoyed it, give me an enjoyed it in the comments below, and I'll know that you really like me vlogging around and sharing with you some great advices for your MBA. I'll be soon heading out somewhere else, most likely, and will be sharing another vlog series with you. Thanks a lot, and goodbye from New Delhi.